Welcome back, everyone. Well, it's holiday time, so we can think of no better guest to have than Charles Peltz, who's a good friend of ours and also one of the artists that we admire the most. He's music director, and conductor of the Glens Falls Symphony Orchestra. Hello, Charles.
Jesse, it's great to be back. Thanks
Great
for having me on.
Great to have you back again, too.
Thank you.
We're here because it would not be the holiday season without the Glens Falls Symphony Glens Falls Orchestra doing their annual holiday concert.
Absolutely. 4 o'clock on Sunday, December 7th at the Glens Falls High School. It will be the Glens Falls Symphony, the professional Glens Falls Symphony, plus our children's chorus playing a medley of tunes. This year's title is Christmas in the New World. So it'll be all sorts of American Christmas music from the very beginnings of the frontier. We've got some fiddlers doing that, all the way up through Irving Berlin's White Christmas in a favorite arrangement of everyone, and lots of stuff in between that we'll probably talk a little bit about.
Well, you know what, Charles, and any of you who have seen the Glens Falls Symphony, you realize that the programs are always very interestingly put together. It takes a lot of work to put the programs together that you do. Tell us about why you selected this theme.
Well, you know, last year we did Christmas Around the World. It was very successful because there's so much music from around the world to celebrate the season. And when I was looking at how we might do this year, I thought, well, let's take the other lens, bring the camera and face it back on us. And what do we come up with? Nice. And I started with that theme and I thought, well, what am I going to do? I mean, it didn't immediately come up. Pieces didn't immediately come to mind, but there was the fiddle music, and then there's Go Tell It on the Mountain from the African-American tradition, and of course, there the standards of today, like White Christmas, and then there's a piece of classical music from about 1900 by a man named Chadwick, and he was nicknamed the American Brahms, and it's about 10 minutes of music called Jubilee and Noel, and it's a very celebratory and then a very reflective, timely piece for the holidays. So for the classical music lover, there's a great piece of orchestra music in there, but then there's the fiddle music, there's the spiritual, there's the fun stuff, and then of course the children. Sandwiched in between these orchestra pieces, they offer these 3 and 4 minutes of gems, like the chain of ornaments on the tree that glisten, a certain way as you look up and down.
You're such a visionary. I love it, man. Well, hey, are you playing this is going to shoot over the head of a lot of viewers. You're playing the role of Bing Crosby in White Christmas?
Well, boom. I would like to, but no, I think what we've chosen is the purely instrumental version, which most of us
we all
grew up with, right.
Leave it to you to find Chadwick, the American Brahms. Those are big shoes to fill.
Well, they were, and at that time in American musical history,
turn of the century.
Yeah, the turn of the 18th or the 19th to the 20th century.
Yes.
Americans were desperately trying to find their voice, and frankly, it was a borrowed voice. So Chadwick was very skilled, but he wrote very much in the German tradition of the time, which was the classical music tradition in 1900. And so there are some rhythmic elements that speak of the New World, some syncopations and offbeats and things that have that little bit of New World earthiness that Copland would later exploit.
Right. Got it. Yes.
But at the same time, Chadwick for musicians is a name that we know. We just don't get a chance to put it in the programs very often because it always feels like when I'm putting a program together, he's on the list, but somewhere it gets bumped because, well, no, I really think we need to do X. But this was a perfect place to insert a great American, a person who pushed music forward and took the time to write a piece called Jubilee and Noel, which fits beautifully for the holiday season.
Boy, I bet it does. What a nice eclectic mix, You got White Christmas in there, you've got this piece by Chadwick, Go Tell It on the Mountain, some fiddle music, and of course the kids. You can't do a holiday concert without the kids, and I really applaud you for bringing them in, Well,
that children's choir is a year-long project for the Glens Falls Symphony. They sing in December with us, but then in the spring they will do a program all on their own. And it's a very important part of our role, we think, in the community to build on what these children have in their public school education, which is very fine. The music educators do a great job. And then they send some of their more interested students to us. We develop them a little further, and then we hope that they take some of that back to the program. And it's a cross-fertilization of everyone's musical life.
I heard a phrase this week that really struck me. We all hear about the STEM initiative, and someone said it should be called STEAM. because there's an A missing in there
right.
for the arts. And I just thought that was so cool, right?
Well, you know, it's so interesting because you discover this. I've conducted earlier in my life at universities where many in the orchestra were not music majors. And what was the preponderant major for the students in the orchestra? Engineering.
Yes, of course.
Pre-medicine. I mean, these were people. So the connection between the two is very close. And so I would, an open invitation to all the engineers and out there, come to the concert on Sunday. It will feed part of your soul.
I love it. One last thing, and I know we only got a couple more minutes, but we do this, you do it's a very interesting thing with this guest conductor thing.
Oh, sure.
And I want to start by saying, I just recall Betty Little, Senator Betty Little, conducting the orchestra, and I think you told me she did her research on John Williams, right?
She had gone to YouTube, and she had looked up the videos of John Williams conducting Sleigh Ride with the Pops, and then she got up there and she was terrific. So we have 3 more community leaders who are going to be coming in this week. They've been online. People are voting for them. It's a fundraiser for the orchestra, and it's very helpful that what people do is they vote for the person with a contribution. And we will continue to take those contributions through intermission on Sunday. And then on Sunday afternoon, after intermission, I will announce the winner. And one of those people will then take the baton and stand up and conduct the Glens Falls Professional Orchestra in Sleigh Ride. And a great thrill for them, lots of thrill for us, and awfully helpful to the orchestra.
It's a terrific event. Let's recap. This Sunday, which is the 7th, 4 p.m., which means you can bring the whole family, grandma, bring the whole gang.
Absolutely.
Glens Falls High School. That auditorium, by the way, has excellent acoustics. It's where the symphony performs all the time, right? Isn't that true? Except when you're in Crandall.
Right.
And you got to go. It's a fabulous program. It covers all kinds of music, and leave it to him to come up with this beautiful eclectic mix. So, Charles, nice to have you back.
Happy holidays, Jesse.
Yes, same to you. To see this interview again, head to our website, looktvonline.com.